Namaskaram, namaskaram, namaskaram to all of you.
Namaskar.
We are on the second day with what to say. Today the newspaper says he is the technology tiger of Texas.
Technology?
Tiger of Texas. That is what today's Malayalam daily Deepika, the Sunday special story today, the 18th July 2021 says. And yesterday we gave a small intro of today's speaker because yesterday we had a journalist, and not very far from journalist, when in the flyer yesterday's journalist Manju Kalanidhi saw Krishnakumar's name, immediately she said, I know Krishnakumar. I knew that Krishnakumar started his journey in the press from Deepika long years back probably. He is a man of lot of difference. If you look at one of the newspaper published in America which says Krishnakumar Edathil of the Texas Artificial Intelligence Center of Excellence AICOE serves as the practice leader and director of enterprise solution services for the ALCOE formed in December last year. I don't know where to start reading, where to stop reading. Huge informations you can just type in the name. I keep saying few links I have served to all of you while joining. I am so thankful to Keshavatan, whom I refer most of the time in my lectures, because many lessons, life philosophy through literature, very rarely people can share from generations to generations. Another, probably one of the close attachment is I adore my mathematics teacher. Probably because of him I had love towards my mathematics, and I took a PhD in mathematics because we had a great teacher, okay. And Krishnakumar is son-in-law of my mathematics teacher. I keep mentioning O. Kunyikrishnan because I remember after my MSc I went and met him. He was not bothered that I am an MSc or not. He was telling me, in 8th class you did this mistake in your half yearly examination. You can imagine, I am proudly saying I am mathematics MSc, and he says you did a silly mistake in your 8th class half yearly examination. Can you imagine some teacher remember a student by the mistake he did in his examination?
So we used to remember like this.
That is what I keep saying. That
remember their handwriting.
That makes a teacher. I must have spoken about O. Kunyikrishnan sir whenever I speak of teachers. The passion for love to mathematics came because such teachers were our teachers for mathematics. Otherwise, probably no, I would not have. So there are a lot of positives, but we are from a small village where development is probably zero. I'll tell you, when I was in 8th or 9th class, my brother was running a shop. And my time pass was sitting there and doing business rather than attending class. And after my PhD, or very recently until the road was developed, slightly widened, the same shutter with that number which I wrote with my chalk, 1, 2, 3 up to 13, that was existing in the shop. I don't think any small village in Kerala also will be there which was not developed 40 years. Until recently the widest road came, the village was a village. We should thank Krishnakumar's father, Keshavan Master, I call him Keshavatan. He was also Panchayat President. And we have got another Padmanabhan Nambiar, who is Pappatan for me, whose father was called the president. I remember in our school when somebody asked who is president, they did not even read President of India. President only read and immediately wrote P.P. Krishnan Nambiar. Because even if you ask President of India, they will only write P.P. Krishnan Nambiar because his nickname itself was president. After that, the next president was only Keshavan Master, who was known. There are a lot of stories to say about my small village. We have got children who are joining today with us, who are from Hyderabad, who also met. I have got my classmate Shankaran, who was a police and he used to be a normal visitor there. So we are from a small village. It's like a family meet, which I am feeling. Probably I never spoke like this in any of my earlier sessions. So I don't want to introduce Krishnakumar by myself because it will be a big crime which I am doing, because I know very little about him. I have not even seen him physically. But I wanted to ask him, how is your travel from Deepika as a person after your college, and today you being covered in Sunday, approximately 2/3 of Deepika paper in the Sunday special supplement? Krishnakumar ji, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you, everyone, for being here. I wish I could have talked in Malayalam, but for the interest of all of you, I'll stick to the language that is suggested for today. So, as you all know, I am from this village called Naduvil. I always had passion, for journalism, and that started probably with my dad supporting me with a lot of such activities. He used to own a printing press. That business didn't go well, but that was one of the start. Then at college, I was also very much into editing and writing and things like that. And that took me to Deepika. And before that, there is an interesting story. We are transitioning from where Manju Kalanidhi left yesterday. So I think it's a very good transition from that as well. And I'm remembering what she said about the career, the fourth pillar. It's very passionate item. But my thinking was, I don't know where the story. The only thing I took on journalism, maybe the second reason, maybe because I wanted to write and prove my capability in English. Because one teacher failed me, knowingly. He gave me 39 marks, in a test paper, and then that was the only time I failed in my life in English. So I wanted to prove that hey, I'm better. So I started writing for Indian Express from Kannur. And they didn't have any coverage about the hill stations or hilly areas in our places. So we started writing about that. And started a newspaper called Star of Malabar. I remember Manju was talking about development journalism. That was clear step. So that is one of my topic, because, you cannot wait for others to do certain things for you. You have to jump in and do things. And that was launched along with Sri Kalathil Ramakrishnan, who is my guru in journalism. And he handhold me, and there was another Hindu editor who was supposed to take over as the editor, but he said, look, at that point of time, it was time, right? I was just finishing my final year physics degree, and he put me as an editor of that publication. It's in INS records and everything, which helped me later on when I came over and was filing for my papers here. So that was my journey. So I was always passionate about this field, and Deepika gave me a great exposure to mainstream journalism. And I used to play all sports in Sainik school. So I picked Sainik, that sports as my core area, and travel all over South India, covering sports and writing. And whenever I go, so the Sunday supplement thing is a great thing, because it's a close friend of mine, C.K. Kuriachan. He's now the editor at Deepika. He's a senior editor. But you know that, right? It is very difficult to get a publication. You can get in other places, but it's very difficult to get recognized back in the same organization where you worked with. I think that was celebrated all over today. And I used to write, when I travel, I used to write about topics. I still remember writing a novel while I was coming back in a train from Delhi after my PTI interview. So it is like that. So writing has been always there. From Deepika, what I did was that I prepared for PTI, Presidents of India. And again, I would like to touch upon a story that it's all people have to be there. You're not doing it by yourself. There are people like, DrTPS was talking about. Someone should be there to, light the torch for you. And that's how you start your journey. And then it was an interesting story. I went to this Kila in Trichy for a seminar, and the person who sent me is not there right now. But after the first day, I met Madhavatan, who is the bureau chief for Hindu there. And after I was there only for 5 hours. And at the end of the 5 hours, I was called back to go to Nagarkoil to report a sports event. My boss was so, picky about that. But he said, look, you are at this event, I know I'd let you go, but I wanted to go and cover this event. There is nobody to do that. So I had to pack my bag and go. But he left me a message that a PTA has called for your interview, means call for a test. And those publications won't even appear anywhere in Kerala because Hindustan Times is available only in Delhi or major places. So to make the story short, if I wouldn't have gone there, if somebody wouldn't have sent me there out of love and seeing that relationship, I could not have met Madhavatan, and he would not have told me about this opportunity in PTI. So the small story is, from there I went to PTI, and I don't know where you read my story on Deepika. One of my teacher, S. Harihara Sharma, he was a math teacher again at Sainik School. He was my house warden also in 6th grade. And he told us, hey, any time he says, if you go for physical training or sports or anything, he says, if you're running, run like PT Usha. Means if you're doing something, be the top in that. If you go cook something, be the top chef in that. If you go for journalism, be the top in that. So it was always there in my mind from as a kid, and that helped me do that excellence in what you do. And then from PTI I went to PTI also established the IT bureau. Esteemed Pramod Mahajan, late Pramod Mahajan was the IT minister, and nobody was covering IT. So with my physics background, I was able to quickly do the Y2K, and so I did that. Then Microland was hiring for India.com and IT space, and I quickly pivoted. That's another term that I always use, pivot quickly. And then I was able to get there, and then I took a lot of risk in the way because my PTA is like a stable place, and from there I went to IT space, and from there I helped another individual and paid him a higher salary and got him to IT space, and he was talking to a US firm for a long time. And then imagine, when I hired him, I doubled my salary, because the salary wave was going up. He said, hey, you're doing stupid thing, don't do that, you should not hire me. I said, look, that is the price that is there for that particular role. He came on board, we built a good team, but the good thing is, when he got this US offer, they asked him, hey, can you recommend one more person? And look who he would have come, or whom he would have recommended, and that's why I'm here. And I had to go through all the process interview, but that lead was given by that person. So that's what I always say, do good things to people, and things will come back to you. Then I came to San Francisco, and I came for a .com initiative, but .com fell, means it busted, and industry was going down. And I was able to survive here because, I knew the media work, and I continued till 2005 before I pivoted to, IT. So I moved from sports journalism, regular journalism, to sports journalism, to IT journalism, and being an IT consultant. So that's how I crafted this journey, sir. Sorry, it was a long answer.
It was too short. It was too short because I think it rewrites most of the codes which we have. And one of the thing which I look at these days is reflecting on the quotations, age-old quotations which are invalid in today's scenario. I am sure most of the English teachers traditionally keep saying rolling stones never gather, something like that. No? I don't think that, yeah, Moses, it's nice to have not be with the Moses or in the deep, the side shore where stones are always unpolished. So as you roll more and more in the stream, I think people get polished. And that is what it shows. And I think Krishna Kumar's life story talks about how agile, probably how smart you have to be. And that is why probably maybe 15 years in IT is not a great time. It's too short. But how fast and how smart you are, that is what today's world. It is not, many people give advice saying hard work. No, it's not hard work. I think it's smart work. Correct, Krishna Kumar ji?
Yes, sir. Smart work, and one another thing I learned from my friends at PTI was, I don't remember who told me, I think again I learned this at Sunny school. Now, imagine if you are joining a school or as any job. In PTI we used to have a 6-hour shift.
Yeah.
Okay, but I do 3 shifts. So first shift is my regular thing for my pay, and they don't care what I do for the next. But I'm in the office doing other reporting and supporting things. So I do about 18. Take it for 15 hours, 16, because my MD used to say that 6 hours, 2 hours you chit chat, 2 hours you for water and everything, and 2 hours is the only thing you work. That's what you're getting paid. That's what he used to joke. MK Razdan. But I used to do 3 shifts. Not only me, 3 of us, me, Venkat, and Thomas. We were roommates, and all of them. Venkat is in Singapore, and Thomas is also from Pottanpalava, Paidalmala area. He's now just moved to. He was in Indonesia. I think he moved to Thailand now. So we used to do 3 shifts, and this was during the time when that Kandahar plane hijack and all those things happened. So that work ethic is one of the basics. I'm sure I learned that from my parents. I never saw him at home, but how he works.
I'm seeing a lot of, when you speak about Kandahar, I have great stories to say, because I was also part of identifying where the flight was parked from the satellite image. That's my portion. When you talk about PTI, I don't know how many youngsters, like people like I'm seeing somebody who joined, who are students of Falgun, who just passed the 12th class, may not even know what PTI is. I had a great opportunity to be very close to my brother's wife's uncle, who was part of, I don't know whether you heard KPK Menon, who was one of the earliest PTI, who wrote a book on press reporting, that is reporting memories. That's one of the rarest books probably the Kerala PTI people reported or maybe published. So I'm sure you have a lot of stories to say, but what could be one way where the youth can be more potentially active and not getting satisfied? I keep saying one of the worst habit most of the people have is they get satisfied very fast. So therefore the development doesn't happen. How do we stop this satisfaction level and push them into an uncomfortable zone? I'm sure most of the time you would have been running through uncomfortable stone, not the comfortable stone, right?
Very, very true. I think I'm seeing myself in 2 videos.
It is there. You are seeing in 2 videos here. We are gladly looking at it.
1 second, let me turn, because I wanted a good sound. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I leave it for the time being. So one thing I learned is you have to be patient to others. Sometimes you cannot always control, but you have to be patient to others, and you have to be impatient to yourself. So in order to do that, you have to push yourself. And I was always working that if I die in next 6 months, how will I work? But I got changed by credit to my wife. She's daughter of OK Marsh, and being that, she said, look, you have to work as if you would die today. You won't even be there tomorrow. Then how will you work? So those 2 extremes. So I started changing. So we planned for every 6 months, and and that was a big game changer for me, because I was always thinking, hey, for the next 6 months, if I'm not there, how will I work? How will I have my career? How will I have my relationship with my friends, family, everything, right? But she came and said, look, no, you don't do that. You have to say that, look, if something happens to you today, how will you work? So you have to finish all the tasks. You would do, I slept, I think, 2 o'clock or something last night. So everything, changed ever since she told me that. So be patient to yourself. Sorry, be impatient to yourself, restless, but be patient to others. Don't show that. Second, set goals and do everything that day if you can. And plan your life, your life's attitude, the way you look at things, everything would change in 6 months. And one thing is that, what my dad used to say, I know I'm very happy that my mom and dad are here. He used to say in a different context, he used to say, if you had to make people and everyone happy, you had to give them in Madhuryamoda Kodukanam, means you have to give them very, very nice. So you have to do everything with that respect. So if you do that, I would recommend the youngsters to do that. That is, at the end of the day, it's all getting into that great concept of work ethic. And I'll give a quote. There are thoughts around who said it, but the quote is like this: I can't hear, or it's like that. What you do speak so loud, I can't hear what you say. Means I can see from your actions. Means talk is cheap. Don't say I'll do this and don't do that, and then you don't do anything. So that is the advantage that I would say. So if yesterday's quote was by Manju was, do what you can with what you have where you are. But I'm taking the next step where your work ethic, I can't hear what you do speak so loud, I can't hear what you say. So that I would leave at that. So do what you're stressing upon.
Beautifully said. I now remember what Mahatma Gandhi said: love everybody around you as if you are going to die next moment, or maybe the other person is going to die next moment. But keep learning as if you are going to live longer in this world. If you tell only the first half, most of the students will say, okay, tata, bye bye, I don't want to study because anyway I'm going to die. Right? Yes, you have to always keep your backpack ready with a lot of weapons so that you can use wherever you want. You don't know which weapon, where it is useful. See, the BSc Physics of Krishnakumar, because physics and mathematics is the core of computer science. If you understand physics, I keep saying the cosmology you understand, and then you understand the inner of the nuclear science. That means you know yada pinde tada brahmande. From the brahmandam to pindam you understood. That means you understand everything in the world. That's the beauty of physics. I'm sure that is what makes a lot of difference. Whatever you do, today morning I was talking to children, I was telling you have to be IAS. Not Indian Administrative Service. Inspire, aspire, success. Then I said, if you want to inspire, aspire, that is there, but you don't do your work today, inspire, aspire will only take you to dump. So you should be immediate academic success. Every moment you must be studious. That is what it shows. Krishnakumar was a brilliant student. Otherwise, I think those days getting into Sainik school was not that simple. That itself is a highly competitive examination. Just because we have the fortune of having both father and mother as well as son here, I just want one sentence from Keshavatan. How do you evaluate your son now? Let him be the Texas Tiger, but how much mark out of 100 you will give it to him as your son? You have to unmute, Keshavatan. You have to unmute. Touch that mic. Unmute first. You are not heard. The sound is not coming because you have to unmute that. Then only the sound will come. Yeah, no, not at done. Yeah, now I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I give Krishnakumar 10 marks out of 10.
10 out of 10, yeah.
10 out of 10.
Krishnakumar ji, I used to do one small exercise when I go to schools. I ask young children, How much mark your father will give you? How much mark your mother will give you? And I will ask another question back. How much mark Krishnakumar will give to Keshavatan as a father?
I think he will give me 7 marks only.
I think,
No. I'll give him 10
That's
out
enough.
of 10 for sure.
yeah, I think
That's enough.
what is more important, I want to give this message to all the youngsters. It doesn't matter what you become in your life. What most matters is how much mark your nearest and dearest gives you. If they evaluate you, you are not a good husband, you are not a good son, you are not a good father. Whatever you are outside probably doesn't matter, because always at the end of the day it's those who are very close to you matters to you. Is it not, Krishna Kumarji and Keshavatan? I want your comments on this. Is it not true? That is what you were mentioning. Nyan Padi, Devam Padi. Half is mine and half is from my father. What we inherit. You have heard most of the time he was telling, because my father was very active all the time. He keeps on working. So that is the character, that is the habit, that is the DNA which we inherit.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
So it makes lot of difference. Now from here, what next for India from Krishna Kumar? Because it's our motherland. More than father, what we have to give back to our motherland. That's why we call them motherland, not fatherland also. Father is secondary. First is mother. First is mother, right?
Okay. Yes.
That's why I don't.
Like that. But it's motherland, not fatherland.
So what is that what is that, Krishna Kumarji, you suggest India or the youngsters in India to raise India with the small race of people? I shared that book to you, right? Written by article from many people. They have great dreams, but as Vivekananda said, most of us or most of the people were all basically lazy. So how do we make a difference to this world?
He will do the best to uplift the students from Kerala and India.
How? Krishna Kumarji, how is my question.
The internet and WhatsApp and all this technology that you all have on your fingertips. So like some of the books said, world is not round anymore; it's flat. So one of the easiest thing from since education was touched upon, one of the easy things is that you can get access to any U.S. universities or any courses that we get here in Nadavil or in Hyderabad or anywhere, just because of you just signed up with that. So that is the first step. You should be able to do that. Second, read about what other people have done and get inspired. I want to go back to that step in a second, but get that, and then also you all can teach or train, tutor people around the world. You're not stuck in that particular place where you are. You just need to have an internet connectivity, and you should have that mind to share and learn and help someone. Don't worry about the money, because I was told recently when all these COVID things happened, Deepak Chopra was quoted in CNN. If you follow Saraswati, means if you share knowledge, wealth will follow. So that is the talk he was saying. Don't go and blindly do something and try to go after the money. But if you are doing so, just by doing, by teaching somebody else, you will learn a lot, and then you can also help somebody else. So that is a beauty. We have a system called buddy kind of a system. In the meetings, you take one more person to the meeting. So like that. So those are the strength. And India, as you know, we have 1.39 billion people, and 30% of it are 30 or 35% are young. And we have that is our strength, and focus on our strength, what we can do in sleep, what we can do without much help, and what you kind of train yourself. I will go back to the same thing, the PT Usha thing. Don't focus on a lot of things. If you look at a tree, I remember having a tree poster that, like a tree which was find a place to grow and branch out kind of a thing. But the beauty of the tree is it has got a lot of lateral roots and everything, but it has one tap root. So you should be very, very deep in one where, it doesn't matter. You can change, okay? I was initially doing sports, then I did Y2K, then I did IT, then I did cloud. Now I'm doing AI, block. It doesn't matter. It can change. Once you get bored, just go to the next subject. But you cannot be an expert by being by deep 5 pillars. That is only genius. Great people can do. But at least we can focus, like average people like us, we can focus and dive deep on one and have knowledge on most of the things. Okay, so I would say don't limit to your knowledge and try it out. Start earning from an early days if possible. That will boost your self-image. And you can do by any online community. You can just go and teach anybody, and you can make that money. And then while teaching, you become an expert in that. So I would leave at that.
I was just telling Krishnakumar that I have a fun of rewriting quotes. One of the quote which I wrote is, "Jack of all trades, master of none" is the old quote. I rewrite it as master of one, jack of all trades. That's what just now you said, one deep root and then start branching out, right? Well said. Now, as a tiger in Texas, you have a new role to lift up Texas into something. What is that?
So if you look at Texas, we have digital governance, but we have to go far. It takes about, if something comes into private sector, it first comes in federal, like Pentagon and those kind of things, and then it gets down from there to private sector. But government sector here is very slow, just like India. To get this technology into Texas is a challenging time. So that is what I have been tasked with. We have about counted we have about 3,500 state and local panchayat, municipality, all those combined, counties, school district, all those things, 3,500 of them, 3,500 of them. And then we have about 181 agencies who get budget every year. So what we have to make sure is that they are able to use that to help people. Means they should be able to provide a faster service. They should be able to make it digital. People should be able to get service very faster. So that is the goal. Agility means you don't have to submit something and stay a lot. So right now, people can quickly at their home they can renew their vehicle, licenses, driver's license. Also they can do it from home. So we are changing a lot of things, and our goal is to help different departments. We have a different system. We are not like Kerala kind of where you have a chief minister and he tells something and it will happen. We have a different system. So I don't have control over that department who does licensing. So that's where I have to use some of the techniques that I learned while growing up to work with the people and, like DrTPS mentioned, inspire them, and then give them a lot of tools, training and everything like an outsider, right? They'll ask me, who are you to teach me? Even though I have mandate, I don't have power inside. So then I have to go and train them, get the new technology, and when the new technology comes, they should have a license or a procurement or a contract to buy that technology. So we have to make sure that that technology exists. And it all takes time in government. And the last point is, you have to give those tools so they get inspired and they take some action on that inspiration, and then they have to sustain that because they'll get onto that, and then that is the transformation formula that I use. Again, learned from legends whom I have worked with. I think it was Dr. Deshpande who was saying that you get the 3 rules of transformation. You inspire, like the I in IAS that DrTPS was mentioning, and then you kind of train, coach, give them budget. So budget takes 3 years here to get a budget. So you have to plan such a way that initially I was also frustrated because 3 years, okay, but later I got tuned to that because that is a process that the government has laid. And then you give them, and you have to sustain that item. So the goal is to put Texas as a leader. We are coming back on cloud heavily, but we are a leader in all artificial intelligence. And if you look, they picked 8 projects out of nationally about 180 projects, and we were on the top of that project, and that shows within 6 months we were able to do it. And Texas, there is a saying in Texas, everything is big. That means when I go and show my energy, it multiplies. When I asked for volunteers, 100 people came from all this. I didn't do alone. 100 people came from, imagine 10 people from Microsoft, 5 people from Google, 5 people from Amazon, all the big companies, and they're ready to take my call anytime. And that's how you multiply. And again, these are the thank you. These are the same techniques that we used, with the grassroots movement, the political movement, or whatever you can say, the community social work that we did back home. I'm doing the same thing. So what you asked me to transitional skills, I can work with people, I can inspire them, and I can give them. I'm very good at getting them all the things. Like agility, you have to remove the roadblocks. So I remove all the roadblocks, and then I make sure that they can do their job well. So to get Texas into next level, and this Tiger came because the previous CIO called a team called Tiger Team, and it was very famous. It was written about, and that's why the newspaper called me like that. So that Tiger Team means you quickly get the things done. So there is no bureaucracy. If you have to make a law change, you go and get that law change. It may take about 2 years, but you go and make we amended the laws. We changed the laws to help that particular smoothness. And at the end, the technology should work for people. So there is no. So that's a focus. I'll stop here, sir.
I think a tiger chases, but they don't wait for the feed to come in front and then say, eat me, right? So you hunt and you chase your targets. Probably, what was that great innovation award you got, and then the 2021 Indian American Award? That was also related to yeah.
That was not so some newspaper carried it as an Indian American winning that. So we have a Wall Street Journal kind of a publication for government sector. It is called State Scoop.
Yeah.
Scoop means getting the scoop in a news. They also have Fed Scoop. It's a big company now, and they do every year. They do nominate like the top CIOs, top CTOs, up and coming kind of people, and they also have projects nationwide that are pretty good. So there is two-step process. First, you have to nominate. So I have to get that nominated from my state. So I got nominated. Then they leave it for voting across the US. So whoever has that voting capability, just like India, you do send SMS and things like that. But I don't know all the people here. So they all vote because of that pitch that we have put forward. There is no campaign or anything. They'll all go to the website and vote for them. And then they shortlist or announce 9 winners. And this time I think they got about 200, I forgot the number, sorry about that, about 200 or so or more in the project side. And our project was, if I'll send you all the link, and it was just the top project among that 9 projects. And I got an interview done in the prepare. They announced it again the other day, and there will be an award ceremony later on. I don't know with the COVID where we will be able to do, but this was the only award. Texas was nominated in all sections. There was, all my colleagues were there. There were about 10 nominations done by Texas itself, but Texas only won 1. And it is because of the teamwork. We were able to show that it is not for me, but papers carried with my name because I was the project lead and the leader for that. But that will give us a lot of exposure and put Texas back into that leadership role.
It's all, to just motivate a few people who are going to listen to this or who are listening now. What could be India's take on the 4th industrial revolution, or maybe only we are saying only blah 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 and nothing on the ground? Similarly, we have that United Nations development programs, that 2030 program. Do you think that India is on the right path on technology, or maybe the real revolution in the connectivity and all that?
Yeah, so like I was planning the 7, I was planning to talk about 7 areas, but India is very well poised and very well ahead on that. If you look at our connectivity, the mobile phones and internet has revolutionized. Imagine we doing a call like this 10 years ago, right? It would have been very difficult. People are able to do this, and India is on the right track. But what I would say is, I'm not criticizing, but always my problem or my challenge with my Indian friends or people when I work with some of them, I constantly work with people back home. I dedicate that time even now, and some of the people who gets my work ethic, they understand and deliver it that way. What India doesn't do, what India has to do more is, imagine, you all know what a machine, a vending machine is. You'll have, if you go to the airport, you will see vending machine. You will see potato chips, Coke, water bottle. You put 10 rupees or 100 rupees, and it'll give you the change back. So most of the time, what we are doing is that we are doing just enough. But the attitude is that, hey, look, let me try 99 rupees and try to get the Coke out, right? So you're not putting 100%. You're doing 99.99. But it wouldn't give me, the analogy is that even if you kick that machine, it will not give you a Coke. So one of the other quote that I learned from my school days was, stretch a bit more than what you can and hit hard. You don't try to, you don't get complacent. That's what I was trying to say. So India is very well ahead, but imagine this 1 billion, 1.3 billion population. In that X percentage is focused on technology. When the world is all looking for India as a great market, we can change that game by, imagine if only 1,000 people now go and teach someone from US and earn $1 a day. Imagine the impact that India can have. So India is on the right track. We have to do this excellence and be a leader. And I know China is closely following us. They are learning English. They're catching up. But there is a limit with which they can learn English. So if you stop, somebody else will take over. So what I would say is that keep on running, and India can do the best in technology, education, and I always say that focus on the strength. Billion people. If a billion people start doing something, if you take the mathematical equation, it is times 1.3 billion, right? If I plant a tree, and if 1.3 billion people plants, it's 1.3 billion trees. And if we do 2 here, it multiplies by that billion, right? So no other country, no other world, nobody can do that. So we have the one side of the equation done. So whether what equation you are doing, that matters. So I think we are on the right track. We have to keep doing what we are doing, and we have to see it as a competitive thing. We have to compete with the rest of the world.
Krishnakumarji, you lived maybe half of your life in India, maybe less than a half in America, but I'm sure that is in a more matured style. Therefore, probably the contribution could have been 60-40. But I'm sure your heart may be more to India, and that's what the reflections are. But I keep going to different academic institutions, and I keep telling them, when assignment is given, the first question every student asks is, when is the last date? A word which really irritates me, and keep telling them, why do you ask for last date? Why not the first date? We have all places where last date is this, so that we can wait until the last moment, then only do it, right? When do we change this? Is it not the family system, the legendary value system which we talk about, keeping us more socially bounded so that we become so dependent on the system and nobody ventures into taking new routes? Is it what is the real problem? Where could be some small change which you can suggest, or what I can do, probably what I am looking at, what I can do. My experience in US is only for few months, but I found a lot of discipline, lot of beautiful way of doing things. If at least few good lessons we could imbibe. As you said, the good English, but though we give English, but it's only literature, the language is not being given at all. We know how to write exam question answer for Othello or maybe Shakespeare or maybe Wordsworth, but you ask him to speak, no. What can be done to really to do this?
I just wanted to, this is a great question. I'll address in two parts. One is, I want to, talk about your, grandfather who created the school for us back in our village, and also to your chacha maybe, Sri Unnikrishna Master, who taught me English at that time. It was OK Master who taught me math. But then I had to undergo, at school, when I went from Malayalam medium to English medium. And at English medium, I had a teacher called V.R. Krishnan. He was like a terror teacher, totally the other side of the teachers that we see here. And, we all, why I'm saying is this, I used to get beaten every day for a year. It is not because of I didn't know, because we have a lot of Malayalam medium kids, but the time it takes for us to process that English, because in the transition from English to Malayalam or Malayalam to English, either very language, initially you have some challenge, right? I can understand English. By the time I respond, it may be a little later, and he would give me an AD immediately. Okay, so imagine you had to go through that. So I don't even remember him now, because I was able to talk very fluently, very nicely, even to the presidents of US, and they would pat on me, hey, you are talking, he was saying you are doing good. So what I'm saying is that you had to go through that. Most of our, and what you said, DrTPS, is not just for India. I'll tell you a story, and media friends, don't quote me on this. When I was working on a project, somebody told me, give me 1 week to think. And I have about 20 people who are being paid $200 an hour kind of a thing. It's big project. And this person on the other side who can give me an access to a computer is saying he needs 1 week to think. So when I told this to somebody else, they wouldn't believe it. So it boils down to that discipline that you grow. There should be people who should put the infrastructure, who should put the value system, like DrTPS said, and you have to go through that journey. For example, it is the stones, and that goes, and you have to go through that journey to become that fine-tuned individual. And to get back to the question, what is missing is, every time when I ask, even today, people pick up if there are 15 days for that SLS, service level agreement, they'll pick up on the last day. And you will see that lately I don't have any notes. Means I used to have a paper with to-dos, I'll write everything and I'll tick everything. I still have maintained a day kind of a thing. But the moment, if you have to, again, my wife taught me this because she went to school here, and you have to complete the transaction. For example, you have to submit a homework. So you must have done the homework, and you have to submit the homework. And there is a military term here which is called trust but verify. You have to make sure that DrTPS got your email. Otherwise, you did everything, but you submitted, the email went, but what if it went to DrTPS junk mail, or if somebody deleted it or something like that? So you have to get into the discipline. 3 stages. First, you have to do it first. So you don't have to think about it. It's out of your way. Second thing, you have to make sure that you do on the first day. Okay, I was a last day guy sometimes, okay, but then you struggle. But, I've been there. I'll try and do some problem in the last minute, and when I'm going to submit, internet is down and you cannot get the file out, you're done. But do on the first day, send it across, and always there is WhatsApp. You can walk up to their place and make sure that the other person got it. So I would say that, and it's a discipline. Not just India is lacking; it's across. It's people. There are a lot of people who thinks if you're given 10 days as a time, they take on the last day. So I will summarize that way. It is just that discipline that you have to go through, and people here in schools, they train the kids. So my son, I don't have to monitor him on any homework. If he doesn't submit, he fails. So that responsibility has to be given to that particular individual. And when they take the responsibility for all their acts, then things would change. So responsibility has to be done.
I think I can go on and on. I'm in a mood of talking to my younger brother, whom probably I met after long years. That sort of a feeling is what I have. But I want to, yeah,
I'm sorry to.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to
thought
keep
I-
it open
I thought
for
I-
others to interact and ask few questions, very specific, where the contributions from, maybe some comments or what you can get from Krishnakumarji now. Yeah,
Anirban,
yeah, Anirban.
I was referring to the last question of yours, wherein you asked specifically about what can we do to change the attitude of the younger generation, wherein when given an assignment or any kind of a work task, they take a large gap as the critical marker. Now, oftentimes it's important, while I agree to Krishnakumar's view that it has to be built into the responsibility of the value system, which takes time. But on the same, if you want a quick result around it also matters about how you incentivize and motivate the individual.
Anirban, there is a disturbance in your sound. I think it's not very clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, I think I'm getting.
Yeah.
Okay. I was saying that it is for quick results where you're trying to motivate individuals to respond to an assignment or to a task at an earlier date. It is how you incentivize the individual. For example, if it's an educational assignment, a teacher can give more credit for people who possibly respond the earliest, or the top 5 or the top 10 early responders.
Anirban,
Just like-
Anirban, we are not training teachers here to give them solutions for the problem I asked.
I'm not trying to give a solution.
Yeah,
to the problem.
I think we should learn from Krishnakumarji today by asking few questions where we got the answers. We have to get answers from Krishnakumar. So if you have some
Sure, sir.
specific questions, short questions, probably you can throw it.
That's what I was asking Krishnakumar's ideas around, whereas he was speaking of teaching them responsibility, I was also asking about what about quick result?
Last question, Anirban.
See, a incentive for the early submission, sort of an assignment is given, you can give an incentive for early submission. These sort of things will
So
change
that-
the world.
yeah.
That's what he says. Yeah.
So in here in the US, education system, I like some of them, but some of the teachings are not like India, because there is a difference. But the good thing is they incentivize kids early on by giving extra credits. For example, my son, if he's the first guy to submit a paper for math, instead of 100 marks, he'll get 110.
Yeah.
So next time he can get, if he makes some mistakes or something, if he gets only 90 marks in the next test, so he compromised, right? So he has that extra credit. So I don't look at his scores all the time, because that's his responsibility to manage. We are teaching him responsibility. So he says that he got extra credit. Sometimes they'll get 5 extra credits, or sometimes 10 or 15. So that's how they keep that extra credit. So that and this credit are not just applied to math. So if he's very good in math and he did first pretty good and he gets 110 or 120 or whatever, 20 extra credits he got, then if he does a little bit poor in band or athletics or something like that, and he needs some mark to maintain an A plus, an A plus is 97 here, okay, 97 percentile. So he can move this 10 or 20 extra bonus he gets and he can apply it there. And he does it. I don't even look. He'll go and tell the teacher, look, can you apply this credit to this one? And they email it. And so I would say that extra credit concept could change a big impact. Not like giving laddus or those kind of thing. But this is a great tool that they have used, and I've seen it personally. And that's a good question. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's all making them feel responsible by themselves, right? Anirban, thank you for that. Anybody else?
So I have a question.
Yeah. Krishnadas.
Is a son of Jayanti teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Krishnakumar, it's a wonderful speech and good to listen to you, and we feel inspired listening to you. And I am a startup founder. Last 2 years I'm running a startup. We all are kind of learning from Silicon Valley. Maybe India may be in the top 3 of the startup ecosystem in the world. but we are still far away from Silicon Valley. What we should learn exactly from Silicon Valley so that we come up to that level? That's my question.
So there are two parts to it. That's a great question. There are two parts to it. One, Silicon Valley has the place it is. So it has got a very good connection between the institutions, the Stanford, the Berkeley, the other UC systems, etc. And the industry. Industry means all this Google, HP, Apple, and all this kind of companies. And then they have venture capitalists who have money, a lot of money, and who are trying to invest in good technology. And there is talent, good people. Everyone will come there. So they have a good mix of combination that you can ask for. Okay. But one thing that makes them unique, which I learned, I don't know where I learned, but it's in me. I have an 18-month theory, or you have 6 months to do certain basic, like startup, do the basic things. It's called, if you look at regular terms, you have, you can crawl, you can walk, you can run, and you can fly. So if you look at my career from my agility perspective, if you take DPK as an example, PTA as an example, IT space as an example, or any career I did, I've not stayed there for 18 months. So first 6 months is your phase to establish, you get your startup, the idea, you have your prototype, and it is rapid prototyping, okay? You're constantly working with the customers and you're making a product good. And then the next 6 months, you're getting your customers and you're growing in 6 months. Like I told you, right? You die in 6 months. That is the thinking I had. So you get that thing done, and in the next 6 months, you crawl, walk, run. After that 18 months, you should exit. And one of the magazine or the publication that I did, or several startups we did back in California while I was there, everywhere I applied this principle, and on the 18th month, either we got acquired or we shut down and moved on. So it was like that. So that is one thing you should learn from Silicon Valley. You get these things right. You should have an institution to partner with. You should have somebody to fund it. You should have talent, very good people who are smarter than you. If you look at the Tiger team I told about, they're people who can run 100 times, who can code or do things 1,000 times faster than me. So you need that kind of people. And this work ethic that you have to find customers and you should work towards that exit goal. It may be a major customer for you, or it may be an exit, somebody coming and acquiring you, or you're getting a next level of funding for you. So keep that target time-boxed approach and forget, I'm not saying that you are doing, but most of the Indian culture, even when they come here, is a ho jayega attitude. Means, I have time. Okay, so don't do that. Say that 6 months I only have, then you time box it, then the way you will work will be totally different.
Nimisham Jolitam Sreyam Nadu Dhuma Yudum Chiram. Nimisham Jolitam Sreyam Nadu Dhuma Yudum Chiram. Don't be a smoke, be a fire. Keep burning.
I definitely need,
It's quite valuable. It's quite valuable. There are several times we feel frustrated because the Indian startup ecosystem may be good and big, but it's still not mature like Silicon Valley. So sometimes I feel like I want to be in Silicon Valley than in India, but somehow we are pushing.
So Mr. Krishnadas, I'll give you an opportunity. Don't take me, I'm putting you on the spot, but you take charge, right? When you go take charge, you go back and create that your collaboration with your alma mater. You get some of the good people. Nobody's going to do for you. Okay, you go and take charge and create a Silicon Valley in your town, and whoever you want to contact in the US, in Silicon Valley side, I will be very happy to provide you those connections.
Okay, thank you.
I left Silicon Valley about 10 years ago but what I was saying is that I can always connect you. We used to have something called Silicon Valley connection with Bangalore, Silicon Valley connection with other states and other countries. I'll be very happy to. I still have my roots there, and we'll be very happy to help you on that. But you need to get these things, and you identify a university. So all you need is that formula, right? They have what? A good university. So get that university, and you are there as a firebrand or a iron rod. You are the charge. You are the attracting person. then you will get people. You need funding. You will be able to fund, or somebody who would bring you as a person would invest. So you can create that culture, and anytime you need that collaboration, I'll be very happy to facilitate that.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, please.
Good. I have seen Krishna, Nimali, Kanti wanted to ask something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one question to you. I think
Introduce Krishnaji. It matters your introduction.
Yeah, I'm Krishna Namalikanti. I'm also in the software industry for last, I think, 35 years. I was working with Tech Mahindra and Polaris, and I have my own company. So my question is mostly related to country.
Okay.
So for example, tomorrow, let us say, you will be Prime Minister for, let us say, India, or Chief Minister for Kerala. What exactly you want to do within next 3 years? Because based on your vast experience, 30 to 40 years experience in the US, what exactly you want to give it to your country? For example, let us say tomorrow you will be Chief Minister of, let us say, Kerala. What is at least the top 2-3 areas where you want to contribute?
Thank you so much, sir, for that question. So I'll say it's not 3. I was preparing 7 areas. Okay. So 7 is in the name, in the name everywhere, right? Today, the talk, the number of people, the days, everything. And I think I met DrTPS when I was 7 years old. It was in Naduville. My dad told me, look, he went and talked to somebody, and I didn't know there was a person in a trousers and shirt, and he was boarding. We were at the bus stand to board the bus. And then when my dad came back, I usually I get rare occasions to walk with him, like that, right? So when he came back, he told me, like, that is, Mr. KRISHNAKUMAR, and he's a scientist. Okay, that was what my dad told me, and I always wanted to be a scientist, and I'm gearing towards that, right? So you will see my journey is towards wherever we go, we are becoming that one. So that innovation and everything comes from people. So one of the things I will say is that you need to inspire people, and the first thing I would do is that you need to empower people. So people is our strength. I told you the 1.3 billion, you should do everything. You provide them basic food, education, and that dream. So if you give them these 3 things, you're all set. And then healthcare is very, very important, because you need to get out of all these situations. And I would say, I won't even go into the 7, but if you provide these 4 key things, and don't give them, it's like there is a great saying, don't give them a fish, you give them a fishing rod. So initially it will take a lot of time to transition, but that is what capitalism and everything will do. You cannot keep on feeding people just like that. You have to slowly change from socialism, and you should have these people taking their responsibility, and that's what I will do. I will empower the youth, and then I will provide the opportunity, and I'll provide that competitive. Same thing I'm doing now. I'll create an atmosphere for everyone to 3 things. They have to rise. They have to rise to be the role models, and then they have to pivot. For example, if they see a catastrophe, or if they see a good field like AI or new technology, they have to pivot, and they have to not survive. I was saying I was surviving, and my friend who gave me that intro to US, he's actually from Hyderabad, so I have very good connection to Hyderabad that way. And he said, look, KK, you're not surviving, you're thriving. So then I changed the terms into, you have to rise above others. So you have to make sure that people are able to, you have role models like DrTPS. You always grow with your dad and, all the neighbors, but you need such people and such people whom people can look up, and they should be able to stand on their shoulders and look ahead, so they'll see bigger, challenges. So you only have to do this mindset. The attitude is all the attitude problem, right? If you take Kerala or India or anything, ho jayega, or all this attitude, that changes. That had to be changed. That mindset, if I can change, that's what I will do. And that's a great question. And then, and agriculture is a great thing. It's I'm very passionate about that too. And India can do a lot thing. That is our strength. The farmers are our strength. And, I always like to show something during my, talks. So there is a great story that we were talking about tomatoes yesterday. I'm sad that we didn't come up today, but just that. So we talked about all the vegetables and everything going waste. Okay. So in the US, there is a thing that you pack things in the farm, in the field itself. So it's so fresh, so good. So I would say agriculture is, one of the great thing that I would, you can feed ourselves in education for sure. And agriculture is the second one that I would say that, we all have to do. And then I want to show, I know some of you might have seen it. This is coconut oil. Okay. It came packed. It came from Philippines. And somebody else in a US company is manufacturing this. This is the Tenga Vanda Valacharna, means the hard pressed coconut one. And I want to see how they are marketing it. Okay, I just wanted to read this. I don't know where I can do this small font. But what it says is, for centuries, the coconut tree has been called the tree of life. Virtually every part of it can be used for consumed. In Sanskrit, it is called Kalpavriksha, or tree of heaven. So I'm not reading the rest, but they took whatever we have, and it comes here as an India product, but it's not Indian product, right? So I would rather promote Indian products everywhere so that the farmer can get the best price. And this cost about, I think, $30 or more here for this one. And imagine, can Kerala or India do this? Because it all takes a little bit of an effort. So that's one. And then the second one is that I know a lot of agriculture is the passion. So I wanted some moringa. It's called magic tree or superfood and things like that here. So I got the seeds. I don't know how much was it cost. So I think about $20 or $30. There are hundreds of seeds in it. And I went and bought the same tree from the market. You will see the price here is $9.99 for one plant. Okay. And so this much. So then what I did was that I'm going to call this my red cup moringa. Means I planted this seed and I planted about 20 of them. It came up in about 2 to 3 days, and I'm going to give it away to everyone here. So what I'm saying is that then this leaf, this is packed in Philippines or some other foreign countries. This would have taken just, if you planted anywhere, those moringa leaves, they just dried it and made the powder. And this is easily about $20 or more here. I bought it a little bit earlier, so I don't know the price. It's called the moringa. So the same thing. So we have to help. We talked about yesterday how the crops are being destroyed. So we have to take the same thing. So if they can pack and send this came from India. It's called a yogi's gift. So if they can send the seeds from India, we can always send this thing in a powder form and make a lot of money for the farmer. Okay, so that is my message. The people who are, without food, we cannot study, right? Even if you have the best mind, with an empty belly, you cannot study or do anything. And we need to feed the farmers to have that excellence. If they are happy, if they are making a lot of money, imagine we all will be in good shape, right? So what I would say is, focus on these things. You can take anything and market it worldwide. Others are doing with your name. Let's try and do this at a small way. So I will end it here.
I think Krishnakumar ji, Manmohan Reddy is here. who was
Okay.
yesterday talking, and then we had, we wanted that dialogue to continue, and we are going to have one more person from agriculture who is going to speak. He has got large land. I remember when he wanted to market moringa, I made the design of the packet. I was doing all that job. Manmohan Reddy also knows that, we were discussing about the moringa. We are planning some 3 acres of land. Already he has planted. The last week I was there in his farm. What happens most of the time is we have got these sort of small islands, but the bridge making is a big task which is not happening, because everybody looks for an immediate short-term benefit with less of effort. We don't have a big fish who can give a great shape. It's like we have got a real business person. If he cannot sell the shadow, then he will cut the tree, sort of a thing. Somebody was just writing to me the other day. They don't have patience to make the tree grow higher so that it gives a bigger shadow. We need a good umbrella of people who will do this. Probably that is one initiative as part of this series of discussions. What we are looking for is making some umbrella where we can start some real startup, where we can make this happen on the ground. That's where we are looking at some real role players in this.
So I'll share a lot of videos, because Philippines, they do it as a home stuff. Poor people, they plant moringa all around, and like a cooperative society or anything, they cut these leaves, and they have an excellent way of growing. They are not growing for the seeds, the moringa kai. They're growing it for the leaves, and they harvest the leaves, they dry it, they powder it, and they make into this powder. This is a little less expensive, and I can from here, if I put into a capsule and sell it, I'll make $4 a capsule, and this guy makes easily about 100 plus capsules. So this, if it lands into a pharma company, they make $1,000. So I think we can definitely look at, and I can definitely tie you up with some of the farmers here and agencies here, and definitely we can like I told you, I can be a connector, and then leave you both. You guys are the experts, and then again, give us time, because in US they look at your trust, whom we are dealing with, and everything. So there is no shortcut to this. So any startup or any
Manmohan Reddy garu, you want to react? He is there. Yeah.
Namaste, Krishna. I am so happy that at the end of the day we have came back to our motherland, and this is what I am expecting. How we can pay back our gratitude to the motherland by really standing by the farmers. And the initiative that which you are telling, yesterday we met one promoter or a pioneer who is really working with around 850 farmers. They are doing on a bigger scale the same moringa leaves for powder. So that initiative has been done, but too little people are coming forward, doing in an organic way or the natural way. That is a big challenge. I hope you can really play the role, as sir was saying, the catalytic role to take down these leads and see it should be fructified.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a long journey. The COVID and all these things have, you can only build trust by meeting somebody in person. So and they want to see it. So COVID has put a little bit of a stop to all the supply chain and all the interaction and new buying, and so give us some time. We'll definitely start the baby steps on this. And I like your concept. We have that conscious buyer kind of a concept that you were talking, Manmohan Reddy garu yesterday. So yeah. Definitely we'll have to find those conscious farmers. There's a lady in Denver, Colorado. She tasted masala tea in Bombay, and then she came and started selling masala tea here. And it's a many multi-million industry. But she brews it. She take the extract and things like that. So we have to find such partners locally who will be able to take our product and put their stuff and give the best value to us. Definitely work towards this.
I got my takeaway.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So I am happy. Manmohan Reddy is happy.
Thank you so much.
If somebody else have got one point to mention that your takeaway, that will be of.
I also see Dr. TPS cousin and our teacher.
My brother is also there. TP Balakrishnan is there.
Yeah.
We are all basically
Yeah.
farmers, so we cannot stop without wetting our legs and then getting into. We have got my sister's son Bipin also. He also wanted to venture into, and we keep discussing all this. I think we need some real thread to connect all of us to make it into a net. There is a great saying, no, in graph theory, 6 nodes are good enough to connect anyone in the world.
I see Papatan also here.
Papatan is also there, yeah.
Yeah. So the good thing is that, I always say it takes a village to raise someone, right? So in my case, if you look at, if, take from your grandfather and they gave land to my dad's grandfather. So it's all connected, right? So if one person didn't do that particular job, I was talking about your brother, Balakrishna's, institute. I always used to think, I didn't know that it was his institute. So how many people learned the typewriting at that time? And when I wanted to do that, institute was not there. So I was so sad. So I had to go and learn somewhere else. But how many? So that is a concept that we all have to help each other. And once you help somebody, immediately there you may not get that instant benefit, but somebody else will, open the door for you. So I'm really thankful to all of you. And my takeaway is mainly it takes a village to to raise someone. I'm like the product of that particular village. Everything that I learned from all these people, I must have copied. I'm like a sponge. Okay, I grab good things from everyone, and I will apply it. So that is my so that's my takeaway. I cannot allow everyone into LinkedIn profile because that's managed by the government relations team and legal. But if you ask me on Facebook, I'll be very happy to connect with you. Anything I can do to connect and collaborate, I'll be very happy to do that for you. And it doesn't matter farming, education. There are a lot of initiatives that we can connect, but I won't be able to do it for you because then I'm making you weak. So I tell my kids, and some people will say that, look, can't you give me X amount of money so that I can go and live happily? No, you will not get those kind of things from me. I'll show you, I'll buy you I know someone was from Indore. So there was this person, friend called Sahid. He came for my wedding. He told me, KK, I need help. Then I said, he was a graphic designer. So I sent him a computer at that time with my savings, and he's now a big businessman. But I gave him that computer. He was going to somebody's bedroom, and the computer was in their bedroom. And in the night, if he has to work with me and do some work here, he can keep them it was the 10-year ago thing when the mobile phones were not there. So computer was like a rare thing that you keep it safe. So I bought him a computer, and he's amazing, and he's something that one should watch for. But what I'm saying is that I'll be able to help you get that fishing rod, and I can give you fish, because then I'm making you weaker and weaker and weaker. And then it is like the Balaton movie, and I'll be keep giving you stuff, and you'll be keep asking me, and then there is a dependency. But I could rather help you connect with someone who will be a coach or mentor, and that is my promise. And again, I have a job to do and I have things to do, but I've dedicated some time for sure for India and our town, and I'll be very happy to continue and do that, and then connect people, right? So once I help people, some people, the other day I was helping someone, and he came and asked me, why you are doing it? What is your money motive? I said, no motive. And if you look at my that big break or exposure I got was because I was helping Madhavetan, and he told me about that opportunity. I hired somebody with double salary. I'm not preaching myself, but I did that out of the mindset that I learned from the village and from my parents and all the stories, right? So you relentlessly help other people, and then somebody will come and help you as well, right? So I would leave it that. And anytime I'm here, if you have to make that connection between Kerala, Bangalore, I like Bangalore because Bangalore is known to everyone, and when they do a search, I can say I'm only 35 minutes in a flight from Bangalore, or if it is Hyderabad, I'm also a life member of Telugu Association here.
Oh,
So I'm very connected to Hyderabad or Telugu speaking team, and all my friends are Telugu speaking. So I have that great connection with you all, and I appreciate this opportunity. And I can answer any more questions.
I think that's a great note. Being human is human being, and being social is social being. If you can keep these two qualities, I am sure that's what we are. We have Papatan. When somebody lost a certificate, he took all the way to go and deliver it at Madhya Pradesh, maybe 40 years back, Papatan, for no purpose. I don't think anybody does it these days. When he got something, he said, yeah, let us go and deliver it at his place. No, because those days no telephone, you cannot even connect. And he kept describing such things. These are all stories where we learn the values. It's not savidya and avidya. Avidya gives you earning, but savidya gives you a satisfaction. I think that's a great lesson from both. It's balancing both savidya and avidya. That is what is essential. You must be rich for your cup of tea, but you also share a cup of tea to your neighbor. That's what we all share.
I met someone in New York long time back, and they first thing they asked me when I said I was from Naduvil was, hey, do you know Papatan?
Yeah.
I said, look, I know Papatan. And I connected them over the phone. So it was give or gaze. So we had known, but his brother, everyone in their family knew about him. So I'm very happy that he's here, and we learned a lot from him. And
Papatan Givargis is that volleyball. Yeah, and his brother, we met him in Alain when I had a session. He was attending, his children were attending my session, and Papatan and we made a big bondage. It happens. I remember I went to Bhopal in a Indian coffee house. Then he was talking Malayalam, so I was telling that I am from Naduvil. Immediately asked Papatan. It's a common factor, because being social, being human, these are the two qualities, I think. That's great from Krishnakumar ji. I don't know how much time we were just for 1 hour 15 minutes, but it looked like we were in an ocean of different feelings of different seasons, both the technical, philosophy, life learning sessions, everything together.
So if don't get stuck with Boringa, so they also bring this from outside everywhere. So I bought this yesterday. So what I'm saying is that anything you have, what we have, we can sell it here. But we should find the channel and get that money for the farmer as well.
Otherwise, it comes from Mexico, right? Most of them are Mexican.
Mexican. It doesn't grow in Mexico. It came from Haiti.
Okay.
Where that coup happened.
No, the kappa and all comes from Mexico, I think.
Kappa comes from Brazil.
Brazil, yeah.
And kappa comes like with waxed, so it can stay for longer. That's what we miss. So the chakka came. I couldn't get chakka here, jackfruit. So they sent the jackfruit raw, and by the time it's here in all the stores, it starts ripening, and it is $10 for a chakka, a medium chakka.
You are not paying too much. Yesterday, my wife got a chakka of this size in Hyderabad. It was costing 200 rupees. I think the logistics, transportation, preservation, these are the three things which makes farming, and the genuine way of processing everything in the right style, right? That's what we need, a good tie-up.
And people like Manmohan Reddy garu, that's going to who are passionate. I was trying to do this long time back, but at that time, my father-in-law and my teacher, he passed away. Otherwise, I was saying, hey, I'll buy all the coconut from you this year, and I'll make it like dry coconut, and I'll ship it here and give it as puja items. Puja items for adakka, not coconut. For adakka, you take it's $4. Yeah, 4 small pieces, put in a bag, put a seal, Krishna Om, you get $4. So this was long time back. So that is the kind of marketing, that we all have to collectively do. But if I can get a more price for the farmer, I'll be all in to support and make those connections.
Yeah, Bipin, you could. Yeah, Bipin is in Dubai. He is Maniach's son.
Okay.
I have a
Second.
small take.
Excuse me. Bipin is calling. Speak, sir.
Bipin, continue.
I have a small take on this. I have seen that most of the problems in most of the agricultural product is, one is you have storage facilities is not there. Second is you don't have a proper processing unit. So if that can be developed in nook and corners, then it can improve the agricultural production actually.
Okay, completely agree with you on that, Bipin. But I'll tell you the example of Sahid Khan. He's from Indore. One time I called him and he said, look, KK, you have to come and do this danda, means this business. I said, I'm not into business, I have other things to do. What he did was that he made a small machine for chocolate. And he started supplying that small machine. Chocolate raw fat thing was there, and with the 2-3 people on that machine, he was able to quickly do that. He made a PVC pipe in Indore, because in Delhi, if they have to bring PVC pipe in Bombay or Delhi, it was that transportation cost was very high, like you mentioned. And he's a small industry. He only invested 1 lakh or 2 lakh or something like that to start that particular factory. So imagine if I'll take example of Naduvil only. So we have the airport close by. We have Bangalore as well, but there should be some effort to store, collect, and that supply chain. Totally with you. But if there is local support and if there is no strike and things like that, those. Then if it is taken as a family cooperative thing, I think it'll happen. But if it is seen as a people movement locally, like everyone is involved, I don't think it'll get into. It only happens when one group is trying to do it by not including others, right? But if you do it collectively, and then we can all there is technology available, and we can definitely
Make it happen.
Make it happen. You don't even have to pay the container cost. So there was an example when big companies send things to Bangalore, the container comes back sometimes empty. So there are a lot of things we can explore collectively, and then these new things and this meeting itself, right? I didn't know Bipin that close. I didn't know many of you. I spoke to Manmohan Reddy garu yesterday. I was chatting because I couldn't talk, but it was. At least we can collaborate between there are a lot of programs which we can introduce between the cities and between the families, and take it to the next level. And for the students who are here, there are a lot of opportunity in exchange programs, student exchange program. I'll definitely share that to DrTPS. And then for adults also there is an exchange program. We'll definitely show you that. And Manmohan Reddy, you had a question.
Sir, actually, what I am looking. Telugu. Can I speak for a minute?
No, I can't understand Telugu.
You can't understand. Okay, no problem. What I am looking at is weekly, sir. Weekly, how much time can you spare so that we can really give some updates? What all you are doing over here?
So I have 8 hours a week for India. So if right now that 8 hours, if it is taken by my village or my own stuff in India, I'll do that. But if you want any time out of it, I've and I'll be able to increase, and like I told you, I'll create more friends like me to come and help you, and we'll multiply and make that happen like a consortium, and as much time as you want. So we should be,
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. Some kind.
Yeah, Manmohan Reddy garu, I will shift you to Naduvil.
What I'm saying is that 8 hours, if you ask me, you want 3 hours, I'll definitely give you.
I know, I'm sure there are a lot of things from Hyderabad or maybe the agriculture experience of Manmohan Reddy which can be implemented even in Naduvil.
Yep.
Yeah, because we have to, that is what is networking. I think we should all network together to do what best each one of us get benefit out of it.
That too, we can start with Moringa. That's what I had. I know that the power of Moringa.
The other day I came to your field, I have given you saplings, at least 10 of them, Moringa only. I gave Moringa, I gave tamarind, I gave Karvepila. All these three things I gave nearly 20 saplings. From my farm I gave to you, your farm.
Yes, I need to pay back.
So if I'm thinking business, I can sell this for $5 easily. And you saw this one, they were selling it for $10, right? So all I have to do is I transfer from this to here.
That's it.
So that will give me double my thing. But I'm not going to sell this, right? I'm going to introduce Indianness to others. So I'll give it away to neighbors and everyone.
Yeah. Anybody else? A last point. Otherwise, we will call it a day. We have overshooted little time. Otherwise, with this positive note from what to say, from the tiger to the rabbit. So we have to say
tiger to tigers.
Tiger to tigers. Yeah, that's a great point. I'm sure. Yeah, Seema has to say something. Seema Nair.
Yeah, it's really inspiring. Thomas, your journey. It's really inspiring.
So many people keep saying I am inspired. Then somebody asked me, you are giving a lot of motivational talk, but we are not changing. So I keep saying every day you have to take bath, not only once in a year. Because we need some refreshers, but more than that, what we need is a lot of actions. I think we all take a note.
Actions, yeah.
Yeah, I am sure we are going to tie up. We are going to connect. That's what we were discussing the other day. We have got a great initiative. Manmohan Reddy has connected me to a lot of people who have got a lot of land, local facilities. They are rich. They can also invest money. We want to start something and then do something good for farmers, and more than that, give to the society a better food, healthy food. Otherwise, India is still in healthy index or maybe happiness index too bad. We only retail it by putting into different packets with probably not that good. Packing is good, but inside is not good sometimes. So we need to change. That discover is what we want. Discover and show the internal. Yeah.
I'll conclude like this. Sir, KRISHNAKUMAR sir, I am a sportsman. I am a long distance runner. I am a best TT player. So with as you are saying sports, you are saying something about sport and something about the language. So my slogan is that. So these things have really helped me to really aspire, inspire, and expire.
So I like that. I'm also a TT player. That is a sports I play like very well. I'm also a long distance runner.
How come this? How come this universal the same thing? How come this universal conscious has connected either ends?
Otherwise, we don't quote to PT Usha, right?
A media through a media called DrTPS.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, you, man.
Thank you. I have your number. I couldn't call you yesterday, but I'll definitely.
So, thank you. God bless you. Inshallah, enjoy. Ishwaranigrahan davate ellarkum. Nandi namaskaram. KRISHNAKUMAR ji, we have no words to say. Anyway, it's not a formal word. I think we'll get connected. We will keep helping somebody else who really requires something.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And this is a great opportunity. And next time, I think we can meet in person.
I think Narananguttiatan also joined from Thiruvananthapuram. He left in between.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was also there. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye. Ravi Garu is there from Manmad, who is engineering college principal, retired. A lot of people are there from different parts of India. That was great. Sheri Papata.
I hope our Dr. Sir, I'm hoping that your dreams is going to become a fruitful journey now.
I don't know who gave me the dream. It's only in your sleep the dream came to me. I think we keep connecting. I also tried to connect with the Bipin and then exploring what we can do. I think we have people, it needs only the bridges. We are all in islands. We need to connect them together. We'll do something. Yeah. Hopefully we will Yeah, Dr. Ravi is also there. We have got a lot of people. Manmad. ശരി.